Good morning, currency kings and queens. I am Currency Queen, and we're back with another video. This video, however, is going to be something that's different than what I would typically do. I am going to hang out in the live market with y'all because I know I post a lot of videos about my setups and some trades that I catch, but I wanted to see if I can do it live with y'all today. So here we are, raw and uncut. Make sure y'all follow, if you subscribe, if you're not subscribed, like the channel or the video, and let's keep it moving. Thank y'all for tuning in. So what I'm looking for today is Friday. The first thing we're gonna actually do, which is what I always do when I get on the charts, sorry y'all, is check the news. So I want to see what kind of news we have coming up. Let me get that over to y'all. Okay, so today is Friday. And I don't know why I didn't pull this up before, but bear with me and I got you. Okay. Okay, so today is Friday, November the 17th. Man, we're moving along this year. We'll be out of here before we know it. So this is the this is what I use for my news. I'm gonna share it with y'all. I don't know why my screen is acting crazy. So here, on today, we had red folder news on the GBP pair, and the rest of the day is pretty much, we have an orange folder, which is really not that much significance. It has medium impact on the market. So with that being said, we're just gonna I don't expect any major moves on gold, which is what I typically trade, and I trade GJ. I have my eye on GJ. It's kind of trying to set up, but since it's still pre-market and it's early, we're just going to play the waiting game for right now. So hang out with me. We can jam to some good music, have some conversations. If you like this video, then we can kind of progress into me going live. Just due to my busy life, I can be consistent, but the days would have to rotate. So I would love to go live and trade with y'all ultimately. I'm just, getting out here with the videos, but I've been trading for a minute. Let's get the news off and the chart back on. And I'm going to do some analysis for y'all. So we'll start with that. GU, I was looking at it. And I use my EMAs. Now let me explain something if you haven't watched any of my other videos. When I do my EMAs, the exponential moving average is what I primarily use. I will use a simple moving average here and there when I'm on my phone or on a short chart, or if I want to jump into a quick trade or something and I'm not at my console. But for the most part, it's the exponential moving average because it's pretty much dead on the trend. Just remember, which is why I don't use a whole lot of indicators. You'll see me using the volume indicator. Sometimes I'll put on an imbalance indicator so I can catch some of the small imbalances that my eye don't catch. The big imbalances are pretty obvious. So say for instance, you have these huge run-up volume candles, and then you see how the market came back down, retraced all the way to close the gap from here to here. Okay, so those are market imbalances. There's different words and scenarios for them. Some people call them fair value gaps. I mean, there's a whole lot of different names for them. So Just know that when the market's moving, there's a reason for it moving. And then sometimes when it gets a wild hair, kind of like us, it just does what it wants to do. But you need to understand the actual structure and the dynamics of the market and able to be an effective, progressive trader that's profitable, consistent. So with that being said, if you can see this gap here, which is an imbalance, this trend came and closed that gap, and then it continued up. So that's how the market retraces and, you know, fills imbalances so that it can stay balanced, because everything in life needs balance. So for the market, this is how it meets that balance. But when it's doing that and you're unsure, because this is the 4-hour chart on GU, it is a USD pair, it shot up again. So it went down. This is a retracement. It's what we call a retracement. And we look for it to hold these areas and create that higher low so that the trend is continuing up. So it shot up again here. That is a high volume candle. And then what I was watching was if it was going to actually go down and close those gaps, because the thing about it is not every single time does the market immediately fill those gaps. Sometimes it'll do something to where if there's a lot of volume and then there's a lot of buyers, it'll create the support here like it's doing and then continue up from there, leaving this. But it always has to come back and fill this. It's just a matter of when. So just know that. So I'm looking for a trade either on GU today. Let's look at this. How's y'all's trading been this month? We're closing out the year. We're into December next month, and it is rolling, y'all. So hopefully for those of y'all that have been hanging in there in the trading game, because I mean sometimes it get a little rocky. You know, sometimes it get a little rocky. That's all I'm going to say. Mindset is everything in this game. So when I drop down, it has formed a level of support here on the 1 hour. So when I'm looking at that, and I just really wouldn't mess with it, because you see how that trend line is going through the actual trend, just breaking through those candles. That means there's consolidation. When it consolidates, it's collecting orders. So you want to let it do its thing before you jump in. If you want to trade consolidation, the best thing that I can give for you to trade, if you just have to trade, which I typically don't unless it's on a higher time frame because it'll give me more pips. But if you want to trade from top to bottom in this consolidation, that's possible too. But depending on what's going on with the actual trend, let's drop down some more. It's the same trend, y'all. It's just different time frames. Just looking at it move. And if you want to see if it's doing anything in the recent, you drop down to 15 or 5-minute chart, and you see that it's still forming this level of support here to continue up. And then you see this resistance that's coming up here. So there's a lot of dynamics to trading and actually getting into a trade and seeing if you're going to have just a run up or if you're going to meet some resistance as you're going up. And just remember, at each level of resistance, you're going to really pay attention to the candlesticks, the price action part of it, because it's going to give you clues as to whether you're going to get out and take your profits or whether you're going to stay in, because hey, this thing is going to continue in the direction it's going. So just be smart about your trading. And we're going to move on to the next pair. So with GU today, I'm just going to wait and see. I mean, it's on an uptrend, but until I get my signals to get in, because like here on the 5-minute, it's still consolidating, but the market isn't open. We have no volume. So it's doing what it's doing. So let's leave GU and look at another pair. Okay, so I noticed, y'all, some movement here on the USD yen and the Great Britain pound yen pair. So they're moving. Let's look at this. So what happened is, so right now I have the 200 EMA on, and this is on the daily chart. So just to get a generalized overall trend of the market, I look at the daily and the 4-hour. So if you didn't know, if you look at the daily, you'll see that it came up to this previous resistance here, the last trend, which is right trending down. It came up, had a little wick and a huge bearish engulfing candle, and then it had a little retracement, and then it's continuing down, and this is a huge bearish candle. So it has 9 hours on it still, but you can tell there's a bearish sentiment in the market. If you want to look a little closer, you drop down to the 4-hour, and you see that it broke below the 200 EMA. So you want to just keep watching, because this was the previous low here. Will this candlestick close below the previous low? Now the body needs to close below it, not just the wick. The wick is the little needle looking thing. But it looks like as the volume's coming in, we still have a bearish sentiment. If you want to look a little closer, we're going to drop down to 1 hour. And it looks like it may start some consolidation, collecting orders before the market opens. As you see, my time down here is 6:49. So I typically try not to trade until about another 10 minutes or so to let the market kind of settle. But then I'll look on the 30 and the 15 minute to get in and out of my trades. So that's kind of how I do it. But today, since I have GJ flagged and GU flagged, I'm going to say for GJ, I'm looking at sells, unless it just retraces from filling some small gaps here. I wanted to show y'all the imbalance finder. So you see how I turn that on? Let me turn it off and on. So this is the imbalance finder, and you have to be careful with any indicator. So I will throw that out there. Know what you're looking at and what you're looking for. So if it actually marks it as such, you'll know if it is or if it isn't. So this is without it on, and this is with it on. So it just catches the little ones here that I, would typically not see. So I don't know if these candles here are going to just cover that area, because this is, well, it was, because you see how it made a low and then a higher low here. It could be considered a demand zone, So I could mark that up, but now I'm just watching, because the trends broke below the moving average, and we have some, there was a high here, and then there's a lower low, a higher low, I'm sorry, and then there's a higher low here. So we could be reversing, but we're gonna watch. So if I do get into a trade, y'all, look at all that imbalance that's open above here. So if it is a trend change, we're gonna look at the supply zones with gaps, which is a high probability trade for me if you're trading supply and demand. So with UJ, that is a watch as well, and it is trending on the downside. Like I said, we don't have any significant news for Friday, and Fridays are typically if you see something that goes with your plan, trade it. But Fridays I kind of usually just be real easy. I don't just look to get into something, but if I see something or if something catches my eye, I'll just pay attention to it and jump in and out. So on here, which is GJ, it's on an uptrend on the higher time frames. You drop down, it's still on an uptrend, trending above my 200 EMA. I had a demand zone that it just blew right through, but what I'm thinking, y'all, is this is the other low that's here on the 4-hour, and then I'll mark the next low after that as support. What I'm thinking is, since it blew through this area here, if you drop down, you can see the demand zone that it blew through is kind of trying to create another level of support here and retest that area to continue down to maybe these levels here. So, I mean, everything on today is a watch and wait game. I have about 6 minutes on the hour candle left. I haven't really pulled out the fibs, but if you look on the hour and you want to throw your trend line on it even, y'all, you can just play with these things and see what works. Because even with the trend line, it's you know, looking at the 4 hour, it didn't really retrace unless it's going to retrace to this zone here. So it's just watch and wait. Have a bit of a wick here on this last bearish candle, so we're just watching and waiting, y'all. So for today, those are the two that I'm really just looking at to see if, hey, can I get into this or do I need to leave it alone? If the market opens and there's not much volume or anything that I would deem necessary for me to trade, then I won't trade. So just grow and know yourself and learn that, hey, if the trade is not there, don't force it. But if something is there according to what strategy and plan you trade, go ahead, get in. And I like to trade high probability trades, meaning, hey, there's a high chance that this trade is going to go the way that I think it's going to go. So we're getting closer and closer to the holidays. Next week is Thanksgiving. I just wanted to come in and just give y'all my analysis for today. I had two really good trades on gold this week, so I'm happy with that. And just remember to use proper risk management. Continue to keep this on point. And thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, see you soon.